Hey, I don't know if I'm live. I'm trying to figure this out. Get my co-host in here. So just one moment. I think she. I think I did it. Yes. uh, yeah. That was nerve wracking
All
on
right.
this end.
What up?
Just like doing this.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. I can.
How you feeling today? First of all, you got on makeup
I'm
in
feeling.
the morning. What's going
I do have on makeup in the morning because the chick is
on?
trying to change her life.
Oh
One
my goodness.
face at a
Hey,
time.
good morning, y'all, or afternoon, wherever in the world. We are Poppn Peanuts. Before I even introduce you who I am and who that lovely person is over there, why we call this Poppn Peanuts? Because I know the people's gonna ask.
Okay, so my reason for calling it Poppin' Peanuts is because we're both from the South. And what my grandma and other grandmas in the South taught you to sit on the porch, you either going to snap some peas or you be popping peanuts, talking about the days that have passed and the days to come. So I call
Y'all,
it
she could be on
popping
the
peanuts
version.
because two
She
friends.
get on. No. On the phone one day. My version. My version, we were. Her version is
Okay, your
completely
version.
different.
Your
We were on
version.
the phone. I like to eat hot peanuts. Say what you want to say about me, okay? But I'm international. But and I was eating some hot peanuts, and I feel like she was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, eating. I was like, popping peanuts, or I said something to that effect. I don't think I came up with the name. I think she came up with the name, and we were just talking, popping our shit, right? And she was like, "Ooh, that'll be a good," and I was like, "You know what? You right. You know that whole thing. Her version is completely
What we
different. She's
thinking?
in person. I thought the phone call came from
I promise you, I remember a white couch, the
this white.
peanuts between
Can
us,
y'all see that?
and we was just talking. Right,
Different house.
in a different space though. But right.
I don't know. I just and I'm early. I'm sorry, but I'm eating my peanuts now.
Right. Listen, I'm not even like I would show the view, but I got my peanuts on a one eye burner and they just boiling right now. So when we get to that pot, I'm probably gonna burn my
I'm
mouth, but they're gonna be
I'm
hot.
I'm international country, but that right there got the peanuts sitting on the stove. I'm not there. I'm
It's right there on the stove. Listen, you gotta
not.
lean into that thing. Be who you are to the
Look, I
fullest.
am Breian, Bree, BB, Miss Bree, whatever you want to call me. Um, Miss Nasty, if you, but no. Yo,
I
I
didn't hear
am
that
your
name, so I don't know.
international cultural guru. You want to know about a culture? Talk to me. You want to know somewhere international? Talk to me. You want to know like a random cultural traditional fact about a certain place in the world that nobody else knows? I love that shit. Spent 10 years of my life
Oh,
like
they
building
earned
that
that.
up. I think we're on year like 14 or 15 now, so I'm excited to really be stepping into that piece independently, not connected to a particular job. But anyway, I am. Who is this lovely lady that's above me?
My name is Kay Marie. Yes, I decided to go with Kay Marie because it's
Yeah,
shorter.
a number
But
of
also,
4.
Kay Marie. Okay. My name is Kay Marie. I am a small business owner of Relief Natural Company where I sell products, also make content for people with hidradenitis suppurativa. I'm also an intermediate photographer. I love to do boudoir. So any ladies, hit me on the DM. I got you for your anniversaries, holidays, birthdays, whatever you want to do. I got you, boo. Also, also, I'm a wife and a mom, and the mom is the priority part for me. But yeah, that is who I am, and I am so happy to be here. I'm also best friend
That's her
number
name. Her name is number
4
4. I don't care what
for
y'all want
some
to call
reason.
her. When you hear,
It's, I mean, it's my favorite
most of
number,
my friends have a name
but
that I call them. Nobody else in the world
yeah, they
that
have a name because
I
their
call
moms
and
gave
nobody
them names.
says. And when other
She
people say it, it don't
refuses.
sound right. But y'all
It don't. It
say
won't.
be
I
that
don't think I
number
answered.
4. But
I won't.
no, like, look, you added in that you were a wife and a mom, and I feel like I did not add that I'm single out here in these streets. So what's up?
I thought it was a person. I mean, I only
To
added
make sure
wife
I'm
and
putting it out
mom.
there, because
um,
right. No,
the
but
call,
like
the
we
people.
had a quick conversation because I wanted to make sure that folks understood why we were doing Poppn Peanuts. And this is very new.
Yeah.
We have not really introduced this to the world yet. Like, this is like grand premiere. These are conversations that we have with ourselves, our friends, our family. And we just felt like, yo, let's just be authentic and have these conversations on a platform that we're going to build together. And
I always feel like if we're feeling it, there's
for
at least one other person
100%
feeling
true.
it.
And for those who are going to come back and watch this, like, for real, watch it all the way through. Because I promise you, you've had this conversation, you wanted to have this conversation, or you're having it at this moment, because you might be actually going through it. So we're going to talk about some personal ish, and we'll talk about some hot topic stuff. So it's not all deep and introspective, because I'm a fool. I can't be super introspective all the time.
And what they say, have some candor about
But no,
thyself.
we normally, so we've done it a couple of times, and we're just now putting it out for people to see. But we normally would dive into hot topics, but I don't really want to dive into hot topics right now. Can I go off free? I want to go off script because I really want to talk about these second kids that we got.
Oh.
So when I say second kids, I'm talking about these parents that we are now raising. I am at a good age within my 30s, and my father, who is my sole parent, is in his mid 70s. That's so interesting to say, mid 70s. And you have a very cute name for my father. You call him Daddy B. I'm not gonna put all, just say Daddy B. And so Daddy B is getting up there, and I think Daddy B is aging faster than my Nana. Nana's 93. And I think he's just one of those folks that's ready to settle into being old. He used to be young for so long. And now he's throwing his age around a lot, because he's just like, yo, I get to do what I want now. And I'm like, sir, no, you don't. You got to get permission from me.
Who emergency contact?
Parents, for real, like, in a lot of things that they do, of course, especially because technology is moving so fast, like, a lot of things, sometimes they feel like things are passing them by, and really having to, like, keep them up on the things that are happening in the world, that care for themselves. And I'm finding myself at this, as everybody is saying now, at this big age, having these conversations, or trying to, that's really my thing, trying to have these conversations with my father, because you're not going to always be here, right? Everybody thinks that, the parent is going to get old and the parent will go before the child. So in preparation for that, not necessarily saying like wanting him to die, not wanting him to be, not speaking morbidly, hey, Mona, not morbidly, but just trying to have these tough conversations with our parents. And when I tell you, it's like pulling, it's like, it's like put the what is the thread through the needle. Trying to get older people to talk about their past, and I understand some things are not pleasant. Trying to get them to talk about their health in a way that is informative and not surface level. It's hard.
It's like they continuously put us in that box of, oh, you still the kid, even though you asked me to take you to this doctor's appointment. You didn't ask me to go with you. You asked me to take you to the doctor's appointment. So they get in that headspace of, this is my child. They only need to know what I'm going to tell them. And I'm sorry, sir, but when I'm at your urologist, I'm gonna need to know a little bit more than
now you have to talk
that.
about your penile health. You know, like, and you really got to research that thing, because you never thought you'd be sitting in this conversation where you have to talk about your father's sex life, because I go through that too, where you talk about you know, their health in general. You have to talk about their sex life. What it will be before and after, whether or not they're going to have to wear a Depends or Eagles.
The question that got me was, how many times a day are you still getting it up? That was the question for me.
So, like, I know that we're not the only ones. Hey, Ian, I know that we're not the only ones having, you know, these questions around our parents aging. Because he makes it like it's nothing. But to go to those, when they ask you to, I want you to go to this doctor's appointment, they're asking for your support.
I know, but they say it as if they're asking you to get the ice cream. It's just silly. It's like, this. I mean, I guess we're gonna go for ice cream afterwards, but it was the blindsidedness for me when it comes to that. I would say in the latter part, I was helping take care of my grandmother, but to me, it was like, that was kind of just expected, you know, like, she's getting older, and, you know, my parents had been helping take care of her. So, you know, we're all here doing this. And then they both decided that they wanted to try to go out on me in 2020, 19. I didn't appreciate that. First of all, I just want to say that if they ever see this, I didn't appreciate that. I told them that. I told them they need to properly get it together, because I'm not done growing up. I'm gonna admit that to y'all. And I got 3 kids of my own. I'm not done growing up. I still need them. However, both of them decided to have 2 strokes. And so now it's a matter of, you're taking care of Daddy B. I'm taking care of my mother, majority, but because my dad keeps on going, and his line literally is, I can't complain. I need you to complain, man. I need you to complain, so I know what's going on with you. I don't like walking in the house and like, oh, I'm having a flare up of gout. Sir, we were just at the seafood restaurant.
First of all, we had gout. Let's say, like, sometimes we don't even know that they have the thing. You know, and I get it. It's like you as you age, you still want to hold on to that autonomy. You still want to have control of yourself and your body. And it's probably going to be very difficult for us when we hit that age where we need to depend on someone to be there for us. And maybe it's not going to be a spouse. It might be a child or a younger family member, what have you. So I understand that there is a part of them that still has to wrestle with that, I'm getting older. But I don't think us in our, early and late 30s, 40s, talking about these transitions. Some of us, it's a slow transition. For me, I'm slow. It's, having to go to certain doctor's appointments and having health scares. And then for others, it hits you all at one time, where it's a stroke, it's a heart attack, it's things like that, where you have no choice but to hop and dive right into it. But I think we need to definitely surround each other more and have more of these conversations on how we are juggling having and what that looks like while we're still trying to accomplish and be who we are as well.
I think for most people our age, I won't say that, because your dad is 10 years older than my parents. So I would say, I mean, your daddy old as, but just say, with that being said, we, like you said, a lot of these parents think that they are in that mindset of still, I can do it. And we are along with y'all for the ride. Like, you can do it. However, if we're the ones getting calls to do the doctor's appointments, or we're getting the calls to, oh, can you help me with the medicine case, or can you help me because I fell down, those types of things. I'm gonna need a little bit more communication. I think I think more so now, because we are so enlightened when it comes to, okay, my mental health and going to therapy. I think more so now, the gap between our parents and us, we need to be doing couples therapy with our parents. Because the communication, they learned how to communicate a completely different way than we did. And the way that they communicate with us now, as at these big ages, it doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work most of the time. So I feel like we need to at least have some kind of therapy sessions
Hey,
with the
Taurus, we
parentals.
see you, girl.
What up, Mom? I'm talking.
You, girl. But no, I think for me, the other side of that is the financial, especially parent, whether or not they're still working. You know, depending on where they're working, do they have a pension set up, insurance? Like sometimes having those conversations is difficult. I get it, because on the other side of that, you're talking about someone's demise, right? So I get that that would be a difficult conversation to have, but it's so necessary, because hey girl, because to avoid, you don't want to have a lot of confusion. The one thing I can say about the passing of my grandmother, there wasn't you knew her direct orders. She told you all her life what she wanted, plus it went down, plus there was, there were actual directives that were given, life, all of that stuff. We have to be comfortable, or become comfortable, and being uncomfortable with actually having these conversations, because life will blindside you no matter what. But the things that can be prevented, why not go ahead and let's just put some things in place?
I'm going to say, out of a lot of parents, I would say my mother, hi, mommy. My mother is really good about that. I used to think it was something kind of morbid. I told her this back in the day, but she's always told me, she wants to be a mortician. She wanted, like to know what would go on and stuff. And I'm like, okay, girl, I see you, but I'll be over here. However, in her being that way, she's always prepared us for that in some kind of psyche, always prepared us to let us know, okay, this is where these things are. I got this in place. Whether she has everything in order or not, I don't know, but she has definitely told us specific places where things are that we shouldn't have that much confusion. And to be honest, when it comes to the South and having like heirs property and people not knowing where things going to go or how to take care of people, who's going to take care of my medical and all of this stuff, I can say that the best thing that you can do is to advocate for yourself. And that's a lesson that we can take as we move up into these bigger ages, to go ahead and set things in place. And it's harder now because we're not thinking in that manner. We're thinking about, okay, I want to get this money, get this career, get this done, who am I, put that in place. But we don't think about the ending. And I think that's very funny, because when you're doing a business plan, you always have your exit strategy. And we don't think of our lives as businesses, but our whole body is a factory. What's our exit strategy?
Okay, now I'm gonna go to the drawing board. I'm gonna tell you my exit strategy later on, because winging this,
okay, go ahead.
Point, okay? Go ahead. We're just winging it right now. I don't know about my exit strategy, but I don't want to and talking about these parental units real quick. I was having a conversation with a good friend of ours, Phyllis son. Don't nobody know who that is, so I'll just say that name.
Everybody knows
with that person,
who that is.
and I wanted to kind of switch and go into our hot topics. These gender wars are driving me crazy. I'm too old for them. Like, the gender wars are driving me crazy. Women can't do this without men. Men can't do this without women. You need to bring this to the table. You need to have X, Y, and Z. You need to be 6'6", 6 feet, 6 figures, six blah blah.
Sound like the devil to me.
I am over the gender wars and these hypothetical situations that come up. Well, what if you walk in the house and your wife, shut up. Complete that sentence. Shut up. No,
go ahead.
It wasn't too much.
Go ahead.
I was talking to Phil's son, and he was like, "There's no way." He was like, "Because Bree, you should be dating." I was like, "Well, I am in these streets." Ooh, sound good.
Sound good. Or everything that sound good ain't good for you.
It's 3 sentences, 6 figures, 6 feet, and I don't know what that other 6 is, but use your imagination. I don't know if that's it, but whatever that other 6 is, that one. But what I'm saying is like there are these impossible standards that we have for everybody, and we're like, if you don't meet all of these standards, I can't even consider you. And I think that that's wild and crazy because you probably don't meet all of theirs either.
Right.
We probably don't meet all of theirs. We think we do because we think we are the package. I mean, hello. But I guess my point I'm trying to get to is like, Phil's son was telling me, he was like, Bree, these are the things that you're not doing in these whole to make a man feel like a man. And I was like, I got to make you feel like a man? Why you don't wake up feeling like a man? Why does it take for me to make you feel like a man? Because you were born with the equipment to be a man. Why I got to teach you how to be a man?
Girl, my whole soul, my whole spirit wanted to jump.
And some of the stuff he was saying, he probably, you know, just in the way he was saying it, some of the stuff was right. I get that. But that whole, you need to make a man feel like a man.
I think the word that I use for that, I think that is weak. That's what the word I'm gonna go with. I think that's weak. And I say that from a married person's perspective. You telling me that I get how you can feel that way when it's just the two of you. But if you don't feel like a man on a daily basis, if I don't feel like a woman on a daily basis, I'm not going to get up and do the things that I have to do in life.
So in him telling me that a part of that, a man feels like a man, giving them the responsibility of being a man. And I'm paraphrasing, so I'm probably not saying it exactly how he said it, but it was more like requiring them to do the things that typically a man would do. And he's like, Bree, that might be very hard for you because you are so independent. And I was like, but why do I need to make you feel? He was like, he said, Bree, you handle everything on your own. He was like, if you need your oil changed, you're gonna get your oil changed. He was like, if your brakes need to be done, you're gonna get your brakes done. What she said, I think it's lies that need to feel needed. And that's pretty much what Phyllis, that's exactly what he was saying. He was like, don't take your car to get the oil done. Tell him to go do it. And if he brings up money or if he brings up how you're gonna repay him, never call him again. He was like, because a man wants to solve a problem. He's like, and if you don't have no problems for him to solve, then he don't feel needed.
Why you won't feel needed? You
do everything on your own. And I was like, here is the thing that y'all are missing. I was like, y'all keep saying women are doing everything. It's because that's what we've had to do. If I did not do everything on my own, then I would be out here flapping at the wind, waiting on somebody to come save me. I ain't never saved me.
We don't have no nice.
I remember one of the things your husband said to me one time. He was just like, Bree, he was like, I've never seen you out here like not doing for yourself. He was like, you've never really needed anybody. And I don't know if he meant that as a compliment or whatever, but I remember him saying, I took it as a compliment, and I feel like his son is saying that's not good. And so I was telling him, I don't know how to turn that off because that's who I've always been. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to have me. I got me.
I think I think it goes back to the conversation we've had before when it's like, yeah, you understand that you get you, but we talked about like it's a over correcting of
Probably.
what was. Like, you have relied on people in the past, and it's not just about you, but when we have relied on people in the past and they have, this could be male or female, not gonna lie, I know it's a gender word thing, but we relied on people in the past,
Yeah.
they let us down. So therefore in our head we're like, well, I'm just gonna handle that from now on. It really is a breakdown of, okay, I have to let this be. My thing right now is for other people, you'll be like, just why you care. My thing is, I like dishes being done. When my husband says he's going to do the dishes, it takes everything in me not to do the dishes because that's my thing. However, he needs, or I'm going to say this is how I feel like it is because I'm not going to speak for him, but he feels that he's seen me do it so often, he wants to take that load off of me. So he wants to do them. Now it's up to me to wait for him to do them because that's what he said he's going to do.
Let's see. What is it?
Drives me crazy.
It's like there's plenty of stuff to do. There's plenty of is for you to do. Pick one, but don't get mad at the 5 I picked. Exactly.
These peanuts is popping today. Speaking of, these are the ones that I got today, and this is not sponsored. We got peanut patch out of can, the boiled peanuts. I tried the Cajun ones before, but the originals are good too. They're a little salt on the salty side, so I would add some water to your pot when you boil them.
And in talking about that, like I feel like I have a lot of homegirls, women that I consider to be sisters, to be family, who are out here like doing what they need to do for themselves and their children. And the scenarios and the situations that I hear them go through with the men that choose to date them, it's wild. It's wild how much like men are flabbergasted that women can do for themselves. Like, hop in and do something, sir.
That's a red flag for me. Side eye. Like I just that's a red flag for me. The fact that you are astonished that I could do something that you did, that means to me that you don't value who I am. I get it. You have to learn who I am. I get that. However, you didn't see the value in a whole people. Like there's more women than men. So why wouldn't you think that I can do something that you can do? And honestly, probably
the conversation is around, because you, and I'm talking about women, because you make this much and because you own a house already. I can't believe that there are some men, not a lot, not all, but there are some they're saying because you already own a home, there's nothing for a man to do for you. What? So you're telling me that a woman has to wait to own, she got to wait for a man to come along so she can own property? So she can build up her wealth? That is absolutely ridiculous. But I think just in general, the conversation around women doing too much and also requiring too much from men, I think that's crazy. If she's doing too much, let's look at this. If you listen, she's doing too much, then that means there is
maybe takes the load off of her. Maybe. That also goes in the notion when it comes to married people. If you feel like you're not getting any and your wife is exhausted,
why
pick one off the list of things you can do.
But then also we're taking this whole word of the day vocabulary, independent. Like, we're taking this word independent and saying that women are, the Black, strong, independent woman. I don't see it as just being independent. It's responsible. She's responsible. She's
We're born that way.
responsible. She's handling what she needs to handle. She's got people depending on her. She's depending on herself. Nobody's going to give it to her. She's
Mhm.
responsible. It's not necessarily just independent. And it's not masculine. Let me tell you something about masculine. You and I.
Mm.
If I was born biologically a woman, I am automatically feminine. No matter how,
Mhm. Mhm.
if I am shouting to the rooftops, or if I am quiet and demure, whether my legs are crossed, or if
Whether
I'm
I'm throwing an
Indian style,
axe.
if I'm throwing that thing in a circle, whatever, I am feminine because I am biologically a woman. I don't care what nobody say. So you can't call me
Yeah.
masculine. I might have masculine attributes. My
We all have
correct,
estrogen and
but I am now
testosterone.
100% feminine. And that whole I need a woman to be feminine, what it sounds like is I need a woman to make herself small. That's what that sounds like to me.
That's exactly what that sounds like.
A lot of women out here have
Hmm.
already played that small role, and they're not, as they get into these latter years, because those are the women that we know that we're all getting into our latter years. We're not playing anymore because
Yeah,
playing small does not get you where you need to go.
it does not. We wouldn't even
Get
be on this podcast if we was playing it
small.
small because there were so many times we could have talked
One,
ourselves out of this. There was so
I
many times we
don't
have
want to
talked
dive
ourselves
in too
out.
much.
Finally,
Did you have a hot topic? I know you said you wanted to hit on something real.
yeah. So, finally diving into that, coming from what you're saying, uh, I wanted to talk about motivation versus the feelings that we have. So I've been reading this book or listening to this book because I don't have time to sit down and actually read words these days. So I've been listening to this book, The 5 Second Rule. Ask me who it's by. I don't know, but I'll link it for you. So the basis of the rule is you give yourself a 5 second launch and then you do the thing that will launch you to your next goal. A lot of times we do things based off of feelings and because of those feelings, we procrastinate when it comes to getting things accomplished. So the basis of the 5 second rule, I don't feel like getting out of bed today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get your behind up. Like just go for it. When it comes to speaking to a boss, you know what? I really don't think I want to talk to them right now, but I know I really need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send that email, call the boss,
Yeah.
have that conversation with them. It could be hard, could be arduous. However, if it's something that will move you towards the goal to progress in life, you want to take that launch and do it. A lot of times when we base our emotions off of feelings, which is scientifically speaking about 95% of the time, we base our life off of how we feel. We won't move because a lot of times our feelings and our actions don't align with our actual goals of doing things, or our feelings don't align with our goals of the things that we want to put into
Would you say
action. I'll say it that
that
way.
attributes to, like, because I find that when I act on something immediately, it out how I
Mhm.
assumed or better, versus when I wait for it to be perfect, it turns out to be
Mhm.
like, that was okay. It's almost like, what's that meme? This gonna be the one. Okay, gonna be the
It's
one
so
to put us on the
this
map.
it. You spend hours, days,
What?
even pushing to
Correct.
put one video out, and it gets 3 views. But that one you had that spur of the moment thought, it goes viral. It's in that aspect. Yeah, I had to write it down because you know how my brain works. Uh, we are feeling machines that make decisions. So humans,
Okay.
humans, we feel, we talk. It takes 5 seconds to talk your prefrontal
Too much
cortex out
science.
of doing
Wait,
something.
what?
You know I'm a scientist. I don't talk about that all the time, but I am a scientist.
My friend, the whole scientist out here, y'all.
So yes, so the method of launching into action, your feelings aren't going to make you motivated. I love the way she says it in the book. Motivation is bullshit. Because when it comes down to it, we can say all day long, all right, I'm gonna get up tomorrow, I'm gonna have the best day of my life, I'm gonna start doing this diet, I'm gonna start going and exercising, all of that stuff. You get up the next day, you like, oh my God, I got a swell in my eye. I don't think my foot look right. I ain't gonna do it. Like, it's all of these things to talk
Yeah.
yourself out of it. However, when you put yourself into action, you're propelling yourself into action, that's when your motivation happens. You ever get that feeling like, when I do something, like, dang,
Getting emotional.
I did that today. Like, I was all on it. And then the next day, you like, I want to continue that feeling. That is the process of action, putting your body into action and not just saying, okay, I think that's what it is. My foot didn't look right. I'm telling you.
I was telling you, look, that's me. That's me all the way. I'll be like,
And the thing about it
I
is,
have to walk out the house looking ugly because I gotta not care to just go. Sometimes don't tell nobody, y'all.
right.
But sometimes I go to the gym. I don't need to be brushing my teeth because I gotta get out the house. If I don't get out the house, I'm not gonna do it.
You know I want to talk about oil pulling because that's been a lifesaver for me. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get
No,
there.
I think that I find that
on this,
when I am, number one, when I get up and I do the thing that I said I'm gonna do, no matter what, how I feel, it always turns out better than I planned it.
Mhm.
Always turns out better than I planned it. Or I always feel better the fact that I've gotten it done. It was like, oh, okay. You want to feel that, you want to continue getting that feeling.
Exactly. I like that. I like that one thing. I'll leave it at that. But what she ended on for this, because I'm continuing to read the book. All of this is a growth process. We're in our 30s, going into our 40s. Nobody really told us about what to expect in our 30s. We're trying to navigate how we want to control our 40s. Because at this point, we've let so many people tell us who we are, what we can do, what we not going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all up to us. It's all up to us launching ourselves into who we want to be. And in order to do that, we have to push past the feeling of, I don't wanna anymore, or I don't feel like it anymore, because in those feelings, it will be your demise. Quote, if you don't learn how to untangle your feelings from your actions, you will never unlock your true potential.
Yeah.
And that's where I leave that.
From your action, unlock full potential. So basically, your feelings don't mean shit.
Your feelings will keep you in the shit. That's what that is. Your feelings mean shit because they will keep you in the shit.
Okay. I'm gonna marinate on that in a little bit.
And hold on, I'll say this. So there was a researcher, Antonio Damasio. He did a research about people and feelings and decision making. He had his patients were people who did not have the part of the brain, I can't think of it right now, that controlled feelings, emotions. So he found that when you remove feelings and emotions, those people were unable to make the simple decision as to what they wanted to eat. When somebody asks you, what do you want to eat? Normally you'll say, I don't know what I feel like. We are 95% feelings. That's why I say I didn't want to tell you everything I came up with when we spoke earlier. I wanted your true reaction to what I had
later
to say.
on. I'm like, I should have said that, but it's all right. We're gonna let on that note, because Katie getting deep there, y'all, and my brain not there yet. I wanted to have a hit it and quit it situation. First of all, shout out to Ms. Garcia.
Okay.
Garcia for our hit it and quit it section. On it, I want to
95,
talk about how
girl.
Black women be how we be getting shafted. Because Angela Bassett at the Oscars, she did not win in her category. But it's not so much that she didn't win in her category. It's the fact that she didn't win 29 years ago for What's Love Got to Do with It. Okay? Angela Bassett would have been won an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do, because ain't nobody ever burnt down a car like Angela burnt down that damn car. Okay? And walk off. That is the blackest.
The angle in her eyebrows alone.
Walk off. You know, I want to be pissed at somebody just so I can have a moment like that. And I don't even smoke cigarettes, okay? Yeah. When she goes into that tirade and What's Love, not what in what is it, Waiting to Exhale, when it was like 7:32. I remember when he told me he started counting 7:32. I should have left your ass there. Let me tell you something. Angela, they robbed her on Tina of the Turners. What's Love Got to Do With It was so good, though. And I hate that it was so good. Here's my thing. I hate that it was so good because that was somebody's actual life. It's trash that we we enjoy it because it was such a great acting moment, but it's also trash that she actually had to live that, and that became entertainment for us. So much so that she said she's never seen the movie because she was like, I lived it. I didn't need to see it. Trash. And of course, there was some embellishment, but a lot of those stories, people were like, no, most of those stories were factual, which is why I think about 2 or 3 years worth of just research before they even started the movie, because they wanted to make sure they had a lot of factual. Like, she was like, I did not need to watch the movie. So I think, yes, it was wonderful. It was great. They definitely shafted Angela 29 years ago. They should have gave her that award, that Oscar. But also, I hate the fact that that was actually Tina Turner's life. I read an article that came out like 2 or 3 years ago about Miss Tina, and her husband was like, sometimes she wakes up in fits because she thinks she's still in that space, or she's had a dream that takes her back to that space. And he's like, I just have to be there for her. And this woman is in her 80s. That was in her early 20s. Like, domestic violence is garbage because it messes people up to the fact that you're in your 80s and you still have moments of traveling back to that space, to that trauma.
Your brain.
Yeah. I hate that that was her real life. Great movie. I hate that it was her real life.
He got me over here feeling bad because I be pulling that movie out the pocket like every so often. She was just acting so well. It was great. Okay, I mean, I get, but then Lawrence Fishburne, he was on point with it. Like, I try not to look at it like it's a real story. I really do. He plays Serious Styles in Boys in the Hood, because he's a girl. I think that was before. he had the, what did he have? The little steel balls in his hand trying to be introspective. No. Listen, when he was standing in front of the billboard telling them they're trying to take our neighborhood. Yeah. They didn't message. They didn't take it. They didn't hear it. They didn't. And now I say hi to people walking down the street that just moved here 30 seconds ago. So. Do the white people feel safe in your neighborhood now? That's when you know your neighborhood. Okay. This might hit it and quit it because you brought it up. I didn't have one before now, but I do. So yes, we do have the 11 by 8 and a halves in my neighborhood now, and we can my neighborhood or my street in this city was known as a prominent street, but then it had a downturn, the crack epidemic of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So with that, the caliber of people went down. However, gentrification came in, and now they're trying to move people out. We have this military lady in our in our neighborhood, and where one or two are gathered,
Really?
she will call the police. Like, it's like she's that bad. Almost like she's bad to the point where the guy across the street came up to my husband and was like, yeah, I don't bother people, okay? I don't get why you calling all over the neighborhood. You just moved here. Now, he moved here after her. But he had the common sense to know that he's coming into a space where people have been for generations, and not just to sweep people out of, you know, the area. And everybody's not bad, but they come back because this is their family ground. You know, there's still people that live on the street that have been here for generations. But this lady, where she sees one or two people gathered that don't look like they're supposed to be here, we gonna see a cop drive down the street. Yeah. But she just smile at us. She'll smile at us. We're passable. We're non what is it called? Non-confrontational blacks to her.
Like good upstanding citizens. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all a threat.
Yeah. Non-threatening.
Yeah. We've been on it like 45 minutes today, maybe an hour. We've been on a minute. I have enjoyed this first episode of Poppn Pnuts on IG Live. As I should. And I want y'all to come back every Friday. We'll be here at 11 Eastern. 11 Eastern. So all of y'all folks in Texas like me, all of y'all folks in Nevada, all of y'all people in California, I mean, y'all need to be up 2 or 3 hours before, okay? I enjoyed. Some of our friends came on. Some people I didn't. Hey, everybody. We will be saving these lives. They'll be on the Poppn Pnuts page. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to Poppn Pnuts or follow. Thank you, girl.
Thank you. Hold on. Shout out to the oil pulling. Look at that white. Look at that white.
Tell me what oil pulling is for.
Oh, okay. Real quick. So oil pulling, you use the coconut oil, and the way I do it, there's different ways people use it, but coconut oil, I do like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon. I'm swishing it in my mouth for about 15 minutes towards the end, spit it out, and I brush my teeth as normal and rinse my mouth out. And I would say the benefits is the oil, it pulls out toxins from the gums, because, you know, a lot of blood diseases can come from our gums. And so it pulls out the toxins from the gums. It's antibiotic, antimicrobial, antifungal. And I would say in a week and a half, because that's how long I've been doing it this time around, I'm trying to continue and be persistent and consistent with that. But the results so far is, I hate to say it, but I don't have bleeding gums anymore. So, yeah, a win is a win.
Oil. I think I'm going to do it, and I'm going to report.
Go ahead and pull.
Great. Love y'all. Thank you so much for in the city with me. Thank you, girl. Y'all have a good and blessed Friday, and we'll
see you next Friday.
Bye.